Hey, Johncrestani here, and in this video I'm going to go over something a little special today. It's one of my favorite subjects, which is books, and it's no secret that a lot of my knowledge has come from reading books. A lot of my experience in life and understanding marketing came from books, and still to this day comes from books. And I'm going to go over some of the 10 books that I believe all entrepreneurs should read in order to just help you become a better marketer, to understand this industry, to be able to sell more products, to get your mindset right, and all of the above. So I'm going to go in no particular order, but I'm going to start with a book that actually changed my entire life, which is called The 4-Hour Workweeks. Now, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go through each of these books and I'm going to tell you the key lesson that I learned from each book and what that book actually means to me, because they're all big reads, but I'm going to try to distill them for you. Now, in The 4-Hour Workweek, this book is written by a guy named Tim Ferriss, and I read this book back in 2009, actually. Or 2008. I was on a semester abroad from college. I was traveling in Thailand trying to kind of figure out what my life was going to be. I wasn't happy with college. I wanted to figure out how to make money for myself. And this book motivated me to want to be an entrepreneur. I was actually deciding between whether I wanted to become a traveling nomad and go in search of spirituality and just be kind of like a traveling hippie, or if I want to be an entrepreneur. And I read this book and I realized I could kind of do both. I could travel and run an internet business and make a lot of money. Now, the biggest lesson in this book is he goes over his 4 steps, what he calls DEAL, D-E-A-L. And he says the first step of defining what is the purpose of what you're doing in business, or why you're even trying to make money in the first place. And he goes into that we're not actually after money, we're actually after time, okay? And time is more valuable than money. And we can work harder. And Tim had been working he went to, I think it was Princeton, and he was working a very, very high-end financial or biz dev job, something like that. And he was making a lot of money, and he saw all of his friends who went to Princeton. They were working on Wall Street, making lots of money, $100,000, $200,000 a year right out of college, but none of them were particularly happy. And I had the same kind of experience. I saw a lot of people making lots of money right out of college, but they're working 80-hour, 120-hour weeks, and they didn't have any life. And many of my friends and family members still don't have any life to this day because they're working so hard and they're making money, but they don't have anything to show for it. They have no family. They have money. They have a condo in the downtown part of the city, but they're living amidst, the cesspool of cities is what I call it. They're not living amongst nature, which is rejuvenating. So he said, you want time and you want freedom of location. He said the goal is having control and freedom of your time and of where you are, your location. If you don't have freedom of where you are and what you do with your time, then it doesn't matter how much money you have. You could have $1 billion, but you're still shackled. You're a slave. And that definition was huge to me because I just thought, oh, you have to make money. You have to get a job. And what I really liked about this book is all throughout it, he gives you specific stories. He doesn't just go on his thing like, here's a story of the founder of some coffee thing, and here's a story of the guy who created Charles Atlas, who created a $30 million a year infomercial company. And he goes over all of these individual stories, and reading each person's story made me realize, wow, these are real people. I can do this. They're normal, real people. And if you want more stories of real people, I put a link somewhere around here to check out the testimonials reel of students of mine who have become affiliate marketers and learned how to do affiliate marketing and were able to quit their job and earn full-time incomes doing it. And you'll see they're all normal people. One guy, he was working for his parents in their Peruvian restaurant, and he was doing a network marketing company on the side before he started making tens of thousands of dollars per month in affiliate marketing. Another guy was working at an education company and in Florida. And he was able to quit his job, also make tens of thousands of dollars a month, and travel the world. Another student of mine was a Mormon pastor, and I think it pays a little bit of money. I don't know if it pays anything, but he wasn't really making much money. He was doing some freelance work on the side, and he ended up doing affiliate marketing and making over $100,000 a month. So you can check out their stories of my students, but this made it real for me, and seeing those stories, going through these 10 books of what I'm currently reading right now, and they're fiction books. I read a lot of fiction books as well, so that's just a little bonus. And type in the chat if you like these videos of just kind of getting in the mindset of a successful entrepreneur. I'm multimillionaire, affiliate marketer, etc. So I don't have any employees. And just type in real talk in the comments below if you're getting some value out of hearing just kind of what media I'm consuming. Here's another book, The Little Prince. So The Little Prince is a great book. It's a short book, it's a fast read, and it's well illustrated. It's got, it's actually a children's book. It's one of the most best-selling books in the world, and the moral of the book, it's very imaginative, but I'd say the moral of the book is that a life lived alone is really not worth living, and a life lived for yourself is not fully worth living. A life where you're with others or serving others is much more valuable. And I think the book opens up with, there's a little boy on an asteroid all alone, and he's the prince. He's the king of his own little kingdom, but he ends up coming across a princess who he uses his telescope, and he finds a princess on another, I can't find the page right now, but he basically finds, some sort of princess or something. It's a really sweet book, good moral. It's about living for others, and really I believe that's the best way to get money too. Building your life to serve others to the best of your abilities. Now, this third book is called Unscripted. It's by M.J. DeMarco. He also wrote a very famous book called The Millionaire Fastlane. He has a very popular internet forum called Fastlane Forum, and I suggest anybody watching this check out the Fastlane Forum and join it. It's a great group of entrepreneurs. Everybody's talking about different ways to make money. Everybody's helping each other out. Great place to get involved and be a part of a real good community right there. Now, in this book, he really goes over, he had built a 8-figure business doing affiliate marketing, like a lead gen business. He was getting leads in, he built a funnel, and he was selling leads to limo drivers. And this is before Lyft and Uber, obviously. But he had a big business in that space, and he made a lot of money, and he loves Lamborghinis. That was a big thing of a success, and it's still something he loves to this day. But he talks about living a life unscripted, life, liberty, and the pursuit of entrepreneurship. He goes deep into the mindset and strategies and tactics and the tenacity that you need to have to really be successful as an entrepreneur. Now, I kind of look at this book as the next level of the 4-hour work week. The 4-hour work week came out in 2007 or 8, and this book, Unscripted, is a much upgraded version of the 4-hour work week. So while the 4-hour work week got me started on my journey, this is going to give you a much better kind of foothold in obtaining the mindset for success. Just like the 4-hour work week, it was a paradigm shift for me at the time. It totally flipped my worldview. This book will flip your worldview, period. It's amazing. And I love those books where just, there aren't many books that come around that do that, but that's one of them. Now we're getting into some marketing books, okay? So Expert Secrets. Now, it's no secret that I sell a lot of products through webinars, okay? I love using webinars to sell products. Webinars and online trainings are the modern day equivalent of a sales pitch. And Expert Secrets goes over Russell Brunson. I like it because he uses a lot of images of specific funnels. So he'll actually put up diagrams of his funnels and kind of explain, he'll point out specific things about his web pages that he's doing and why he's doing them, and he'll walk you through the psychology. And Russell Brunson is a highly successful internet entrepreneur I follow very closely. He runs a $100 million per year business in the direct response space. Not everything about that $100 million per year. He doesn't have investors. He didn't have some sort of luck. None of it was luck or investor folk, any of that stuff. It was all built through just sheer tenacity and marketing, and just keep marketing higher and higher and higher. And he breaks down a lot of things. Now, as I said, it's no secret I sell a lot of products through webinars. And the reason I'm in webinars is because of Russell Brunson. He breaks down what he calls his perfect webinar formula in here. He goes over the pages he uses. He goes over the scripts he uses. He goes over the model and all of the different slides, what he does each step of the way to create a modern day sales pitch. Russell Brunson is arguably the modern day sales master. And if you follow Russell Brunson, if you like this guy, just type in Russell Brunson in the comments below. If you've listened to an interview from him or if you subscribe to his product ClickFunnels, I'm a big affiliate for ClickFunnels. Russell Brunson's company pays me about $20,000 per month. So, and they pay $1,000 a month towards the lease of my truck. So, you know, I like this guy a lot from a business perspective too, but getting into his mind and seeing his marketing tactics is very valuable. Whereas these books were a little more mindset focused, this goes into very specific raw tactics. Now, Tested Advertising Methods by John Caples. Now, this book is another tactical, just amazing book, but it also goes over a lot of the kind of strategy around advertising. So let me go over some things that I came across in this book. What I love about this book is, this is an older book. This is one of the original direct response books. Direct response meaning you are putting up ads to, you're not going to estimate a response, you know exactly how much money you made from each ad. And that was a new thing that was kind of pioneered around the turn of the century. There's always been advertisers like Nike or Pepsi who put out ads on the Super Bowl or whatever, and they have no idea how many people end up buying Pepsi products after they watch that ad. They have no idea how effective the ad was. All they know is they have to spend $100 million a year on ads, some marketing director, and they better spend it. Whereas Claude Hopkins was in the pioneering days of, you know, the Mad Men and the Madison Avenue, you know, ad agencies in the 40s and 50s, which really were measuring advertisement. And, you know, here's an ad for Land's End, which is a popular clothing line to this day, and it got built through magazine and newspaper advertisements that were directly measured. Again, he kind of points out, he'll show real ads that were working, and he shows you why they were working, and he explains to you what to do to create ads like this. So here's an ad, profitable businesses you can start under $50, and he goes on to describe why this ad works. He says, how to make small space promotions work harder. He said, you know, and he just breaks it down from a very tactical perspective, and a lot of these things that you learn from here, it doesn't take great leaps to apply them to the internet, okay? Advertising that was done 100 years ago still works today if you just put it on a web page. So this is really cool, and I get a lot of ideas from books like this. And just look at all the, I mean, it's just jam-packed with examples of real ads that people spent millions of dollars on to build their businesses. You know, here's that's a clothing store, another a fur store. There's all these sorts of ads, information products. All of these information products have been being sold for over 100 years. Now we're going to get to the granddaddy tactical marketing book of them all. This is absolutely my favorite book. I still reference it all the time, and that is Cashvertising by Drew Eric Whitman. Once again, he was an advertising agency executive back in roughly, I think, the 70s or the 80s or something. So he talks a lot about direct mail, okay? Ways to actually mail out stuff and see if you get a response. Now, what I really like about books that talk about direct mail, and I'll go deeper into this in a second, is direct mail you have to be very targeted with. You have to figure out exactly who you're sending letters to, you know, what products have they bought? You know, if you want to advertise life insurance, you want to advertise specifically to maybe firemen or whatever it is. You know, he figures out who he can send mail to, and so he talks a lot about targeting. He also talks a lot, you know, a lot of this is about copywriting. And he goes over really specific stuff like this, like crush your competition with extreme specificity. And he'll give examples. In this one, he talks about the psychology of social proof. Now, what is social proof? These are all marketing terms, and you're going to hear me say them from time to time, but you're not really going to understand them unless you read a book, okay? You hear me talk about scarcity, urgency, social proof, calls to action, trial closes, risk reversals, all of these things. These are all marketing concepts that if you just picked up one of these books, you spend a day, maybe it'll take you 2 days to read it, but this book will take you 2 days. This book will take you a day. If you just spend a day reading this book, you will understand all of these marketing concepts and you will be light years ahead of the competition. This costs like $10 or $20. I will include, by the way, affiliate links to all of these books in the comments below. So make sure you buy through my affiliate link so I get like the 50 cents that Amazon pays you for recommending books. But this will take you light years ahead of the competition if you just read through it. Let me find if I can. Here's an example. So ad agency secret number 17, the easy way to boost the power of your copy. And he calls them PVAs, powerful visual adjectives. So, and this is also using specificity. So he says, don't say make lots of money. He says, do say rake in $2,750 weekly. He said, don't say juicy red apples. Do say mouth-watering, sugar-sweet, hand-picked apples. Then he says, don't say drink cleaner water. He says, do say enjoy pure, crystal clear, glacier fresh water. So give people visuals, not just make lots of money or red apples. But every single page of this book is jam-packed with tactical stuff. And I would say if you're looking to get into marketing, I'll give you my 3 recommendations at the end if you're going to buy just 3 books. Growth Hacker Marketing is a book by Ryan Holiday, who's, I call him a PR master, publicity master. This actually is kind of like anti-marketing almost. It's not talking about doing paid ads, it's talking about going beyond paid ads and building a $100 million, $1 billion, a $10 billion business. Now, most marketing businesses, Russell Brunson built a company to $100 million. How much further it'll go than that, who knows? But most marketing businesses, they never get to $1 billion. Not through direct response advertising. To build companies like Pinterest or Google or Facebook or Dropbox or Box or all of these major, Cisco, etc., there's an even higher level of marketing, and he goes into that. This particular section, he's talking about Pinterest. One of the things they used to grow is when they were onboarding users, when users signed up for Pinterest, they would suggest a number of friends for them to add. So they would make sure that people didn't just sign up for Pinterest and like, here's Pinterest. They would actually have their product, the website, suggest people for them to add, because that would give them, start building a community around them and make people use it more. And he says about that, I know this doesn't seem like marketing. It is quite literally a product or feature development decision. And the best marketing goes beyond just simple stuff like that. And an example might be, in my marketing funnels, I make sure that, I get people through the funnel, but I make sure people add me on every social medium possible. I'm not monetizing that right away if people join my Facebook group or if people add me on Twitter. But what I'm doing is I'm creating more tie-ins to myself. So over time, that will have a bigger effect, hopefully. So here's another quote. He says, the role of the growth hacker is to ruthlessly optimize incoming traffic for success, which is, direct response marketers are also supposed to ruthlessly optimize incoming traffic for ROI. He said, forget the conventional wisdom that says if a company lacks growth, it should invest more in sales and marketing. Instead, it should also invest in refining and improving the service itself until users are so happy that they can't stop using the service and their friends come along with them. So, building a better product. Now, the last 3 books I'll kind of go through quickly, but Zen Mind, Beginner's Guide, I'm big into understanding the power of balance and understanding that not to overdo things, to quiet my mind, to not always take all of my own thoughts seriously has been a really important thing. Just not taking all of my own thoughts seriously, because things bubble up. You say, I don't like this, or I do like this, I want to do this idea. It might be for you, you might say, oh, I'm done with this online business thing, right? That might be a thought that bubbles up, but just let it pop and it'll go away. You know, it might be there for a day or a week, but let it go away. These things happen. Or you might get a great idea for a new project to work on or a new business to work on. Let it come up, give it some time, maybe it'll pop and flow away. But if it sticks, maybe it is important. Warrior of Light. So this book is by Paulo Coelho, one of the best authors around. Now, I couldn't find my copy of The Alchemist. I had a lot of books, almost all my books burned in the fire. I live in Malibu, so I live out in the mountains, real kind of remote, right off Mulholland, and fire burned down my entire property last year. And in fact, it was very freeing. I was actually, you know, I didn't miss any of the stuff except my book collection. So almost all my books burned. And I scribble so many notes in my books that it was kind of sad to see those go. You know, the Warrior of Light, kind of just somewhat similar to The Alchemist. It says, don't force things too hard. The universe has its way of moving you where you need to be. Listen to the signs, okay? Grinding and hustling 16 hours a day isn't necessarily going to get you to where you want to be. The universe will show you signs of where you need to go, and there's coincidences. Paulo Coelho talks a lot about coincidences, and coincidences are kind of like little glitches or things that God throws in that shows you kind of where you're meant to go. So the next book is this book, Soar Above by Stephen Sosny, and this is perhaps the most impactful book. It's about relationships and relationships with, you know, your loved ones, and also just dealing with stress. And here are a few quotes that I pulled from it. I'm always trying to improve my relationship with my wife and be a better husband and father. And here was an example of a quote. I mean, I underlined like half this book. This is unbelievably amazing. He says, an example of adult brain reality testing. You know, always testing your reality. So this is talking about reality testing and regulation, which means that sort of similar to the Warrior of the Light or the Zen book, which is not all thoughts you have should be taken seriously. You know, we have thoughts bubble up and they're just that, they're bubbles. But here's a question that you ask yourself is, am I really shut out or does it just feel that way? What can I do to be more connected to your wife or loved one or husband or whatever? So just kind of testing your thoughts, right? Let me find another one. Okay. The mantra for personal healing and growth: to get big change, think small. Commit to frequent repetitions of small behaviors to build new habits. So let's say you're mad at your significant other, just give them a hug and a kiss each day, okay? Or something like that. Do small things. Buy their favorite chocolate, you know, or maybe they like marzipan. Get them marzipan each week as a present. Bring flowers home each week. Do a small thing each day or week, but do small habits. Don't try to make a big change. Just do a lot of small things. Commit to small changes. And here's one last quote, which is, some people continually survey the environment for anything that might possibly be negative. They have trained their brains quite inadvertently to look for things that will make them feel down, resentful, anxious, or angry, which they inevitably find and almost always blame on the people around them. And oftentimes the people that sit there and think, well, yeah, my partner does that. That's what I thought, right? And then I realized, oh, it's me. Because I used to think, oh, my partner always, you know, my wife always thinks, you know, oh, she's always looking for the negative, right? But then I realized I'm the one always looking for the negative, and I'm the one trying to blame things on others. So that was a big thing for me. Now I'm going to go into the 2 books I'm reading currently. I won't spend much time on them, and then I will go over the 3 books of these 10 that you should get first. I encourage you to order all 10, frankly, but if you were just to pick 3. So the book I'm reading right now it's by Neal Stephenson, Fall or Dodge in Hell, and it is a big boy. It's almost 900 pages. This is my favorite author. It's hard to explain his books. If anybody reads Neal Stephenson here, let me know in the comments. Say, I read Neal. I just can't explain. I can't summarize his book in any way that would give it credence. But I've read about 5 of his books, and each one of them are 1,000 pages long. He is my favorite author. He's amazing. He goes really deep into the characters of people. He's just unbelievably intelligent. This is all right, but some of his reads get somewhat challenging. Next one, Cormac McCarthy, Child of God, another one of my current favorite authors. It's about a violent, solitary, introverted backwoodsman. He's a great writer. I can't explain it, but also very intelligent, very fun. Now, if you were to buy 3 books, Soar Above, get this book. This will help you overcome any sort of past or your emotional reactions to things. One of the biggest problems I see a lot of people who aren't very wealthy have is they allow their emotions to control their life. Number one thing by far that I see the reason why people are in poverty is they let their emotions, which change like the wind. You know, our emotions are just here and they're there and this, you know. Get this book, okay? If you're not successful, you probably let your emotions control your life. Then the next book I would suggest you get is Unscripted, okay? To be an entrepreneur, this is an amazing book. This is the new manifesto for entrepreneurship. Unscripted, great book. This will set the stage. And I'd read these books in this order. And then the third book is Cashvertising. This is real tactical marketing that will, you know, things you can apply and make you money. But I would read them in this order. I'd read Soar Above. This will be the hardest book because it doesn't pertain directly to money. And I know you just want to get the money. You're just like, I just want the tactics. Give me the free traffic push button money methods. Calm down, and chill out and listen to me. This will change your life if you do this. These books right here. Soar Above, Unscripted, Cashvertising, then you're a millionaire. But seriously, check it out. And if you're committed to making this happen, let me know and type in committed in the comments below. I'd love to see if you are actually going to do this. I put links to all of these books down below. Again, I'm reading about a book a week right now. And if you want me to talk more about this, I'll see if, you know, the view time's good. But basically, subscribe to my channel. Normal programming will resume tomorrow. And like this video if you liked it, and comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what your favorite book on this list is. If you can, I'd love to see which of these is your favorite book. And looking forward to talking soon tomorrow. See you.